People who have had sex with someone with a disability of some sorts, what was different about that experience? I am a congenital amputee. I basically have one arm that's a much smaller nub with a small finger. Multiple girls have wanted the nub. Once they get it, they realize they don't want the nub at all. It's hilarious. Edit this as blown up. Thank you all for the questions, comments and jokes. It's made my night. I will try and answer and be as honest as possible. The nub has resulted in a lot of hilarious stories. Here's a pic, Imgur.com if you're curious. It's the result of a type of congenital birth defect called Poland syndrome. Mine is a pretty extreme case. Most people with Poland's have a few small fingers, and the chest tends to be more effect. In my case, most of my phalanges are fused together, as are my radius and ulna. I have some movement, but not nearly as much as a normal wrist joint. Go here if you're interested in more. n.wikipedia.org. Also, Finding Nemo is my favorite movie. The nub is my lucky fin. I once had a GF with a nub. Friends called her Captain Hook. She cheated on me, so I was okay with it. She told me of her sexual adventures with women, and how they were all curious of being with another woman, and her nub just made it more interesting because, well, you know, the nub. Anyways. She was always great at helping with the dishes because her nub would fit perfectly in drinking cups. That was the shortest roller coaster ride ever. My ex-girl and I, we had a short-lived tryst, was a few fingers short of a full fist. I'm disabled and have fainted during sex due to a heart condition. My partner thought he killed me. Damn, I'm good, I should call 911. 911, what is your emergency? I decked her to death. I don't know how, but I did it. Please start mouth to moot, on second thought wait for us. I have a friend with benefits still. She was born with some issues, which resulted in both of her legs being amputated at the thigh, as well her left arm, amputated at the elbow. She scoots around her apartment on a skateboard, it's awesome. Anyways. Imagine a 90-pound skinny girl with no legs and half an arm. Basically she liked to be manhandled and used, also the term sit and spin was very true with her. There are a myriad of positions you can now do when the other person is only half a person. A girl I dated has a brachial plexus injury from birth nerve damage that rendered her right arm mostly paralyzed. The sex was 1010. Girl was a freak, the only thing was that every once in a while her right arm would stiffen up and stick straight out in front of her and I would have to awkwardly move it out of the way while not trying to break the mood. Edited, once in a while. Was very late after a 16 hours workday when I posted. So, you are not the only one with a stiffy? Edit, well then. This blew up. Thanks for gold, a stranger. I had a brief relationship with a dwarf. I expected the sex to be awkward because I'm 6'2", but it was actually very natural because her torso was typically sized and everything lined up like it should. Something that was different was that I could easily lift her for an extended time so we could do some stuff I can't really pull off with full-sized girls. It was a lot of fun. Buddy of mine was married to a dwarf, and if anyone ever asked what it was like, his standard answer was, no matter how bad of a day I've had, I can go home, flop my dick into her hand and feel like a king. Edit, thanks for silver friend. I've had sex with a girl that had minor multiple sclerosis. It meant that occasionally, she'd lose control of her legs. Absolutely wild. She'd be on top, then suddenly fall flat on our face. Took all my strength not to crack up. Any position basically. Think about the female losing control of her legs suddenly. Probably the most interesting sex I've had to date. My mom has MS. Can I unread this please? It's your own fault for introducing your dad to Reddit. Damn son. Not me, but my friend is dating a girl and thought the first time they had sex he was really rocking her world. Heavy breathing and gasping. Until she shoves him off and scrambles for her inhaler. Apparently she's heavily asthmatic. The next date she abruptly goes motionless, her head lolls back, and her eyes close. He thought she was dying of some asthma complication. Turns out she's also narcoleptic. She's since got better meds for both issues, although I heard she's dyslexic too. Her genes must be interesting. Edit, I'm not a geneticist, I was just saying it's kind of odd for one person to have those things at once. Till genetics aren't that critical in these situations. Also, I don't know the exact specifics of her conditions, this is just what she told me in casual conversation. Her DNA probably looks like a ransom note. This whole ducking thread has me rolling. Had a fling with a girl in college with no arm below the left elbow. She was hot and awesome. The one thing she did bring to the table was she would nub my taint during handjobs blowjobs. It was as hot and awesome as you think. Nub my taint. Nub. My. Taint. My wife has cerebral palsy. She's pretty normal except for her legs can't separate much. It isn't an issue except when I try to go down on her and she almost suffocated me. You are my new Marvel superhero, the Muffler. She's married to the Muffle Man. The Muffle Man? THMH-HMMFFLHMNNH. Guy across the hall from me in college had no reservations with regard to partners. Brought back a deaf girl with zero volume control, zero self-editing of the blow-by-blow, that muffled things, and poor articulation. Half the floor broke into applause. She had no idea. Edit, thanks a bunch for the silver and gold. I had a deaf roommate once. She could be loud doing everyday things. She also had a BF. I never heard them go at it, but her BF was hearing, so he might have told her when she got to be too loud. Deaf people aren't quiet, but they normally don't realize it. I'm a quadriplegic and I just happen to masturbate quite often, so I like to think that gives me both perspectives. Due to limited feeling in my lower 2/3, it's almost like I'm giving another dude a handjob when I jerk off. But then again, my hands also have limited feeling, so it also feels like someone else is jerking me off. Weird way to describe it, but there you go. Try wrapping your mind around that. How's the orgasm though? Haven't jizz since I broke my neck, so either I suck at giving handjobs or I need to find someone else to jerk me off. Man. Sorry to hear that. I was really trying to wrap my head around your comment. I still can't. Ha ha ha. It's fine, man. Limited sensation is weird, but it still feels pretty good to jerk it. I mean, I might not have an orgasm, but sometimes it still relieves the stress just to play around for a bit. Don't get me wrong, I still have a lot of built-up sexual frustration and it sucks not to be able to blow a load, but I can't dwell on that or it'll go out of my ducking mind. It's best just to move on and hope something happens the next time I have a go at it. On a positive-ish note, I've completed every No Nut November for the last decade, so I guess that's something. I really hope this isn't insensitive to ask, but you seem pretty chill. So are you physically incapable of blowing your load as a result of the paralysis, or you just haven't for whatever reason been able to stimulate yourself enough to do it? No problem, man, feel free to ask whatever, it doesn't bother me. The muscles that actually contract to shoot my load are paralyzed, so I pretty much just don't blow a load. However, I'm sure with the right stimulation, I'm sure it's possible to make myself jizz, whether it be a vibrator or one of those electro-stimulation devices they have now. I just haven't gotten around to trying different toys out to see what works yet. This is kinda the reverse, but I'm basically a transradial amputee on my left arm. The amount of women who have wondered aloud what the nub would feel like is staggering. Still not stuck it in anyone though. On the plus side, if my dick is ever not satisfactory, I have a built-in plus-size dildo. Edit, since other guy posted a picture, might as well do the same. Size 11 foot for kinda shitty scale. On the plus side, if my dick is ever not satisfactory, I have a built-in plus-size dildo. That's pretty handy. This thread makes me feel like I'm at a bar, listening to the best stories ever told. My friend of years was extremely autistic and wasn't ever interested in romance in the least. But one day out of the blue he asked me if I could have sex with him to show him what it was like and to see if he would even enjoy it. Honestly, did it half out of curiosity myself, but I think I messed up somehow. Now he's like a sex-crazed fiend who messages all our friends for nudes and sex. It's been 6 years, but I still feel bad. She was blind, a lot more O's and oops. Also, I'm blind, now with someone sighted, and from what I'm told the only difference is I'm a lot more interested in feeling rather than seeing, and a lot more attentive as to what gets the good reactions out of her. How do you decide what's attractive? Voice? Haven't you seen Daredevil starring Ben Affleck? He just brings them out into the rain or blows smoke in their face. Hey, things are getting pretty serious here. You mind if I just fondle your face for a while?